Mother Earth has been caring from the beginning for most of us, but many have experienced the brutality of nature. In this video, we will tell you about the 10 deadliest natural disasters. Let's dive into it and see how nature sometimes grabs the power to shake the whole world. 10. Indian Ocean, earthquake, and tsunami. On the morning of December 26, 2004, the world was shaken by one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. A massive earthquake with a magnitude of 9.1, 9.3 W hit northern Sumatra, Indonesia, causing a rupture along the fault between the Burma Plate and the Indian Plate. The earthquake had the longest duration of faulting ever observed, between 8 and 10 minutes, and caused the planet to vibrate as much as 10 millimeters. But it was the resulting tsunami, with waves up to 30 millimeters high, that truly devastated the surrounding coasts of the Indian Ocean, killing an estimated 227,198 people in 14 countries, namely Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and Thailand. However, the world's response to this tragedy was equally powerful. A worldwide humanitarian effort raised more than $14 billion in donations, showing the resilience and generosity of humanity in the face of disaster. Even today, the memory of the Boxing Day tsunami remains a powerful reminder of our shared humanity and the importance of coming together in times of crisis. 9. Valdivia earthquake. The 1960 Valdivia earthquake was a true force of nature. It was so powerful that it remains the strongest earthquake ever recorded, with a magnitude of 9.4, 9.6. The earthquake triggered tsunamis that traveled across the Pacific Ocean, wreaking havoc in several countries. The waves were so massive that they caused waves up to 25 meters high that battered the Chilean coast, and even caused waves as high as 10.7 meters in Hilo, Hawaii, over 10,000 kilometers from the epicenter. The impact of this disaster was massive, with loss of life and property damage that cannot be accurately measured. While estimates of the total number of fatalities and economic costs vary, one thing is clear: this earthquake and its resulting tsunamis were a true testament to the power of nature. 8. Midwest floods. Did you know that in June 2008, the Midwestern United States was hit by a series of catastrophic floods that wreaked havoc in several states? It was a devastating event that caused a number of rivers to overflow their banks for several weeks, causing widespread flooding and breaking through levees at numerous locations. The flooding continued for as long as 2 weeks, with central Iowa and Cedar Rapids being the hardest hit.
Some of the little businesses, a couple of the houses, the old post office.
The upper Mississippi Valley also experienced severe flooding in Missouri and Illinois as the region's estuaries drained the floodwater into the river. The damage was estimated to be in the tens of billions of dollars. It was a tragic event that left a lasting impact on the affected states and their communities. 7. China floods. The 1931 China floods were one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. These floods struck major cities like Wuhan and Nanjing and culminated in a devastating dike breach along Lake Gaoyu on August 25, 1931. Some sources suggest that up to 4 million people lost their lives, with at least 150,000 people drown in the first 100 days of the disaster. Despite its place in the history books as one of the world's deadliest disasters, the 1931 China floods are often overlooked in popular media. Nonetheless, the sheer scale of the tragedy serves as a reminder of the devastating power of nature and the importance of disaster preparedness. 6. Lacaneus eruption. On 21 August 1986, a devastating limnic eruption occurred at Lacaneus in Cameroon, which claimed nearly 1,746 lives and 3,100 livestock. It was a terrible tragedy that occurred due to the sudden release of about 300,000 tons of carbon dioxide. The gas cloud rose at an astonishing speed of almost 100 kilometers per hour and descended onto nearby villages, suffocating people and animals within a radius of 25 kilometers. However, since then, a remarkable degassing system has been put in place to reduce the concentration of CO2 in the lake's waters and minimize the risk of any future eruptions. This, along with the Lake Manon disaster 2 years earlier, is one of only 2 recorded limnic eruptions in history. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of taking care of our planet and being prepared for any natural disasters that may occur. 5. Chinchaga Fire. In early 1950, the Chinchaga Fire, also known as the Wisp Fire, burnt in northern British Columbia and Alberta. The fire spread to 35,000 acres, making it the largest recorded fire in North American history. The Chinchaga Fire produced large amounts of smoke, creating the 1950 grade smoke ball, which was observed in eastern North America and Europe. The blaze started on 1 June 1950 and continued to burn throughout the summer and early fall until the end of October. The Chinchaga Fire was a great show of the power of nature, which left the whole world amazed. 4. Hurricane Katrina. In August 2005, particularly in the city of New Orleans and its surrounding areas, a devastating Category 5 Atlantic hurricane, the Hurricane Katrina, caused 1,392 fatalities and damages exceeding $100 billion. It was the 4th most intense Atlantic hurricane to make landfall in the contiguous United States, gauged by barometric pressure. The largest loss of life in Hurricane Katrina was due to flooding caused by engineering flaws in the flood protection system. Eventually, 80% of the city, as well as large areas in neighboring parishes, were flooded for weeks. The destruction and loss of life caused by the storm prompted the named Katrina to be retired by the World Meteorological Organization in April 2006. Three. Angshan earthquake. On a dark summer night in 1976, an earthquake of magnitude 7.6 struck the region around Tangshan, Hebei, China. Within minutes, the city was devastated. The ground shook so violently that it brought down 85% of the buildings and bridges. The earthquake was so intense that it was rated XI, extreme, on the Mercalli scale. The official report claimed that 242,169 people had died and 164,151 were seriously injured in Tangshan alone. However, researchers believe that the actual number of casualties is much higher than that. In fact, some scholars estimate that over 300,000 people lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes in human history and the most disastrous natural catastrophe that China has ever faced. 2. Galveston Hurricane. The 1900 Galveston hurricane is the deadliest natural disaster in United States history. The strongest storm of season, the Galveston hurricane left between 6,000 and 12,000 fatalities in the United States. The number most cited in official reports is 8,000. Most of these deaths occurred in and near Galveston, Texas, after the storm surge inundated the coastline and the island city with 8 to 12 feet of water. It remains among the deadliest Atlantic hurricanes on record. In addition to the number killed, the storm destroyed about 7,000 buildings of all uses in Galveston, which included 3,736 demolished homes. Every dwelling in the city suffered some degree of damage. The hurricane left approximately 10,000 people in the city homeless, out of a total population of fewer than 38,000. The disaster ended the golden era of Galveston, as the hurricane alarmed potential investors, who turned to Houston instead. In response to the storm, 3 engineers designed and oversaw plans to raise the Gulf of Mexico shoreline of Galveston Island by 17 feet and erect a 16-kilometer seawall. Damage from the storm throughout the U.S. exceeded $35 million. 1. Bola Cyclone. The 1970 Bola cyclone was a catastrophic natural disaster that left a permanent mark on the history of Bangladesh and India. The cyclone, which formed over the Bay of Bengal, traveled northward with increasing intensity, only to make landfall on November 12, 1970. The storm left behind a trail of destruction in its wake, with the storm surge causing catastrophic flooding in the low-lying areas of the Ganges Delta. The death toll was staggering, with estimates suggesting that between 300,000 to 500,000 people lost their lives in the storm. The storm was a true force of nature, with winds reaching up to 115 miles per hour at its peak. The storm surge was the primary cause of the widespread devastation, wiping out entire villages and destroying crops throughout the region. The offshore islands were the hardest hit, with over 45% of the population of 167,000 being killed by the storm. The 1970 Bola cyclone remains one of the deadliest tropical cyclones ever recorded and a stark reminder of the power of nature. Let's learn from the experience of those affected by these catastrophes. We should collectively work on creating a better and more sustainable environment to mitigate these natural disasters that have resulted from climate change. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Bye for now.